Smile, my fiancé's mother whispered, holding her champagne glass. People are watching. You don't want them thinking the prenup upset you. Then she turned to the 40 guests at our rehearsal dinner and laughed. At least we know Aaron is protected. No one can marry into this family and walk away rich. A few people smiled because they didn't know where to look. I placed a thick envelope beside Aaron's plate. You're right, Diane. The prenup protected exactly the person it needed to. Aaron stared at it. What is that? Proof that you lied on your financial disclosure, and proof that your family planned to use my credit after the wedding. My name is Elena Marlowe. I was 33, and until that night, I was 6 days away from marrying Aaron Hale, the oldest son of a family that treated money like a last name. The Hales owned a luxury furniture company outside Charlotte. Aaron said the business was worth somewhere around 8 figures. They thought I was a salaried product designer who had gotten lucky enough to enter their world. I never corrected them. I had co-founded a software company 7 years earlier and owned 62% through a holding firm in my mother's maiden name. My salary looked comfortable but ordinary. My equity was worth several $1,000,000. I didn't hide it to trap anyone. I had learned that once people attach a number to you, they start talking to the number instead of the person. Aaron knew I had equity. He just never asked how much. We met at a charity event where my company had donated hospital scheduling software. Aaron was warm, funny, and attentive. I missed belonging somewhere after losing both my parents. His family had noisy dinners and holiday traditions. I wanted to believe their sharp edges were simply the price of being included. Diane's first insult came 6 months into our relationship. She looked at my plain leather handbag and said, I admire women who don't care about labels. It must make life much cheaper. Aaron squeezed my hand under the table, but said nothing. Later, he told me, that's just Mom. She tests people. I should have asked why loving her son required passing an exam. Instead, I let it go. The tests became requests. Aaron's younger sister, Brooke, needed a website for her interior design business. Diane called it Wonderful Exposure. I spent 3 weekends helping Brooke build one for free. At the launch dinner, Diane told everyone Aaron had connected Brooke with the right people. Aaron gave me an apologetic look. The wedding made everything worse. The Hales offered to host the rehearsal dinner, then used that offer to control the guest list, menu, and even where my younger sister, Maya, would sit. Elena, you're marrying into an established family, Diane said. There are traditions. Their traditions somehow required me to pay most of the bills. I put down $43,000 in wedding deposits. Aaron promised to transfer half. He sent $8,000, then said the family business was tight on cash. A week later, he bought a vintage watch for $21,000. When I questioned him, he accused me of making the wedding transactional. 3 days later, Diane invited me to lunch with Aaron and Mr. Bell, the family attorney. A prenup was already on the table. This is standard for families like ours, Diane said. I looked at Aaron. You knew about this? He stared at the menu. We discussed it generally. No, we hadn't. Mr. Bell explained that the agreement would keep premarital property separate, waive claims to family trusts, and protect Hale and Sons. Then Diane leaned toward me. If you're marrying Aaron for the right reasons, signing shouldn't be a problem. That was when I stopped wanting her approval. I told them my own attorney would review it. My lawyer, Priya Shah, read the agreement and laughed once. They wrote this as if Aaron is bringing a kingdom into the marriage and you're bringing a tote bag. Priya made it fair. Both sides would keep premarital property, business interests, appreciation, and debts. We required complete financial schedules listing assets, liabilities, guarantees, and trust interests. Neither person could use the other's name, income, or credit in a loan application without written permission. Aaron barely read the changes. Fine, he said. I just want everyone to relax. His schedule listed a future trust interest worth roughly $1.2 million, a small company stake, and no personal debt beyond a car loan. Mine listed private shares under Marlowe Holdings without a current market value. Aaron's father, Richard, smirked. Private shares can be worth anything. He was right. 2 weeks before the wedding, Aaron forwarded me an email titled, Updated Guest Transportation. Attached were the shuttle schedule and a second PDF he hadn't meant to send. It was a refinancing package for Hale and Sons. My name appeared on page 14. The company was seeking a $600,000 emergency credit line. The draft application listed Aaron as a personal guarantor and described his future spouse as an additional source of household income with excellent credit. Below that was a note, spousal guarantee to be obtained after marriage. Then I found something worse. Aaron had already guaranteed $412,000 in company debt 8 months earlier. The loan was partly secured by his expected trust distributions. None of it appeared on his prenup disclosure. I called Priya before I called Aaron. The lender package had come directly from his email, so we preserved the original file. Priya checked public filings and found financing tied to Hale and Sons. My accountant confirmed the company had lost money for 18 straight months. Buried in the lender notes was a summary of a meeting between Aaron, Richard, and the bank. It said the company expected improved borrowing strength following Aaron Hale's marriage to a high-income professional. Not a bride, not a partner. Borrowing strength. I asked Aaron whether the company was in trouble. Every family business has uneven months, he said. Did you personally guarantee company debt? He paused. No. That lie ended the engagement before I admitted it to myself. I placed his prenup schedule on the counter. Is everything here accurate? His jaw tightened. Why are you interrogating me? I'm asking because I'm about to marry you. He pushed it back. It's accurate enough. The next morning, I signed the prenup, but not because I planned to marry him. It would only become effective if we married. But the signed disclosures created a record of what he had claimed and concealed, and his family still believed I knew nothing. For 6 days, I acted normal. I confirmed the flowers, picked up Maya's dress, removed my name from our shared wedding account, changed the access code on my home, and notified the lender that I had never agreed to guarantee any Hale debt. The bank paused its review. I didn't plan a dramatic scene. Diane planned it for me. At the rehearsal dinner, after her gold digger joke, Aaron whispered, "Just let it go." I looked at him. That has been your answer every time they disrespect me. Diane's smile tightened. Elena, tonight is about family. No, tonight is about honesty. I slid the envelope toward Aaron. Inside were his signed disclosure, the refinancing package, my attorney's letter to the lender, and a statement ending the engagement. Richard grabbed the loan document. You had no right to see this. Aaron emailed it to me, I said, and your application used my income and credit without permission. Brooke lowered her phone. Maya reached for my hand under the table. Aaron flipped through the pages. This is a draft. It doesn't mean anything. It means you owed $412,000 when you signed a statement saying you didn't. You planned to ask for my guarantee after the wedding. Your family wasn't protecting you from me. You were positioning me to protect all of you. Diane glanced around the room. This is a private financial matter. You made it public when you called me a gold digger in front of 40 people. Aaron stood. You're canceling because my family business needed help? I'm canceling because you lied when I asked you directly. He pointed at my disclosure. You hid things too. Those shares could be worthless. I opened the final page in the envelope. Priya had prepared a valuation letter from my company's latest investment round. My stake was valued at just over $4.6 million. Richard read the number first. His expression changed from anger to calculation. Diane looked at Aaron. You said she was an employee. I am, I said. I'm also the majority owner. Aaron sat down. So this was some kind of test? No, the prenup was your test. You demanded full disclosure because you assumed only I had something to gain. Then you lied on yours. Diane lowered her voice. We can fix this. Weddings are emotional. I shook my head. The venue contract is in my name. 70% of the deposit can be transferred to another event, so I'm using it for my company's fall conference. The rest is a loss I'm willing to take. Aaron stared at me. You already did that? This afternoon. That was when he understood there would be no wedding for him to talk me back into. The next few weeks were ugly, but predictable. Aaron sent apologies, then accusations, then another apology blaming his father. I returned the ring through Priya's office and blocked his family. The lender removed every reference to me. Without another guarantor, the emergency credit line was not approved on the proposed terms. Hale and Sons did not collapse, but the family sold one showroom and renegotiated existing debt. Aaron remained responsible for the guarantee he had signed. That wasn't revenge I created. It was a consequence he had tried to hide. Diane told mutual friends I had embarrassed the family over a paperwork misunderstanding. Most had been at the dinner. They knew better. I lost $11,600 in non-refundable wedding costs. Then I compared it with the price of marrying someone who saw my trust as a financial resource. It was the cheapest escape I could have purchased. 3 months later, my company held its conference at the venue where I was supposed to get married. Maya stood beside me while 200 employees filled the ballroom. The flowers were different. The music was louder. Nobody asked me to make myself smaller so they could feel important. I had believed being welcomed into a family meant tolerating whatever came with it. But belonging that requires silence isn't belonging. It is permission for other people to keep crossing your boundaries. The Hales called me a gold digger because they never imagined I had more than they did. Their prenup backfired because it forced them to put their greed in writing. And in the end, I didn't walk away with their money. I walked away before they could reach mine.